morning and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I am Joan and this is Joan's Pointed Plate. Normally each week I do a meal prep video. This week is a little bit crazy in our house and I'm really not doing a true meal prep, so I decided to bring you a 2-ingredient dough video. Everybody makes the 2-ingredient dough with the bagels and the pizza crust, and I thought I would come on today and show you a couple other things that we can do with the 2-ingredient dough. So today we will be making a pizza. We'll be making a buffalo chicken pizza. We'll be making cinnamon rolls, a pepperoni and cheese stromboli, and we will also be making some garlic sticks. I think that's everything. And maybe we'll throw in a bagel or two at the end. We'll see how much dough we have left over. So we are going to start with our cinnamon rolls. The cinnamon rolls makes 8 rolls and they are 1 point each with icing. So to get started, we are going to make our batch of 2-ingredient dough. I have half a cup of flour and then 1/3 cup of Greek yogurt. I don't do equal parts because I think it's a little too sticky, so I go a little less on the Greek yogurt. And I also do not use self-rising flour, which you absolutely can. That's what the original recipe calls for. I just make my own. To a half a cup of flour, I add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And I add about 1/4 to a half a teaspoon of salt. We are going to just mix that together. Once the flour and the yogurt are incorporated, I like to get my hands in there and knead it a little bit. Once it's all incorporated, and you knead it for about 20 seconds, we're going to put it out onto our floured board and roll it out. You just want to roll it out into a little bit of a rectangle. It definitely takes some getting used to working with this dough because it does tend to get a little bit sticky. I like to keep flipping it over to keep it from sticking to the board. So I will continue rolling this out and then I will be back to show you what's next. Okay, next we are going to spray the dough with some I Can't Believe It's Not Butter spray. You can have about 16 sprays of this for 0 points. There we go. It takes a while for it to get primed. I don't use this very often. A couple more sprays. There we go. Okay. Now we are going to take our cinnamon sugar mixture. I have 2 tablespoons of the Swerve granular sugar and about 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. And we are going to just sprinkle that all over the dough. And we're going to reserve some of the cinnamon sugar for the top. Now we're just going to start rolling it. Okay, so we have our cinnamon rolls all rolled. I did a little patch job there. It was coming apart. And now we're just going to cut them into 8 pieces. And then we're going to arrange them on our baking dish that has been sprayed with non-stick cooking spray. I'm thinking we could probably put these in the air fryer. Might try that next time. I'm going to take my remaining cinnamon and sugar and just sprinkle them on the top. Okay, this is going to go into the oven at 350 degrees. While the cinnamon rolls are cooking, I'm going to get started on the icing. In this bowl, I have 2 tablespoons of the whipped cream cheese. 2 tablespoons is 2 points. And I put it in the microwave for a few seconds just to make it soft. I'm also going to add about a half a teaspoon of the swerve sugar. I'm sorry, half a tablespoon of the swerve sugar. And then a little bit of almond milk. And whisk that together. And get all the lumps out. And we'll just set that aside, and that will be our cream cheese icing for our cinnamon rolls. They need to cook for about 12 minutes. We'll check them at 12. Okay, while the cinnamon rolls are cooking, we are going to start on the pizza. I'm going to be making a buffalo chicken pizza with the crust made of the 2-ingredient dough. In our bowl, I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 3/4 teaspoon of salt. To that, I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of non-fat Greek yogurt. And just like for the cinnamon rolls, we're going to mix it up. This is really sticky. I'm just going to add a little bit more flour. I probably should have added less Greek yogurt. Oh, that's much better. Okay. I have my pan sprayed with non-stick cooking spray. And I'm just going to take my roller, flour it up a little bit, and start rolling it out. I just go nice and slow. Start in the middle and push it out to the sides. And this will fit the entire pan. I'll be back to show you what it looks like. Okay, our pizza crust is all rolled out. I use a little mini pizza crust roller. I use the big side to get it nice and flat, and then I use the little side to kind of just ease it into place. It is a great investment. They're less than 10 bucks at a kitchen store, and I'm sure you can get them on Amazon. But it really works nicely for this. So we are going to set that aside for just a minute before we start on our toppings, and we're going to put the icing on our cinnamon rolls that came out of the oven, and they look delicious. So we are just going to Put our icing on them. And then I think I'm going to take a break and have some breakfast. And you know what I'm having for breakfast, right? This plate that's in front of you. Each cinnamon roll comes out to 1 smart point. And it's a true 1 smart point. 2 is 2, 3 is 3, 4 is 4. So there you have our cream cheese icing cinnamon rolls. Okay, back to our buffalo chicken pizza. We have our chicken, cooked chicken in a bowl. And you've seen me do this many times before. I'm going to take my mixer to shred it up. I apologize for the sound. Make sure when you do that, you have a nice deep bowl because it does tend to fly around, but it makes it so quick and so easy. Okay, so we need 10 ounces of shredded chicken. Close enough. And then we need 1/3 of a cup of buffalo sauce. I'm going to use a combination of the Frank's Red Hot and some wing sauce. The wing sauce does have points. The Red Hot does not, but if I use all of this, it makes it a little too spicy for me. So I'm going to use about half of that, a little more than half, and then some wing sauce. This small amount of wing sauce is not going to change any of the point value. Okay, we're just going to mix that up. Sometimes I like to chop up celery and put it in with the chicken and the wing sauce, but I am actually making this for my little nephew who had surgery. So this is his little post-surgery gift. And he does not care for the celery in it, so I will not be doing that. But when I make it for my family, I do put the chopped celery in, and it's delicious. Okay, we're just gonna set that aside and bring our crust back out. And now what we're gonna do is we're going to put a little bit of the Frank's on the crust. And we're just gonna brush that around. And we're gonna put this crust in the oven for about 8 minutes at 400. That's called par baking the crust. And it just helps it when you put the toppings on and bake it again. It just keeps the crust from getting soggy, helps it crisp up a little bit. So that's gonna go in the oven for 8 minutes. Okay, our crust is out of the oven and we are going to top it with our chicken mixture. And just kind of spread that out as evenly as you can. And then we are going to top it with 3/4 of a cup of Mexican blend or Kojak, whatever it is that you have in the fridge. This is the reduced fat. And then 1 cup of mozzarella. This will go back in the oven at 400 degrees for about 14 minutes or so until the cheese is melted and bubbly and the crust starts to brown a little bit. We are not going to finish cooking it right now. It's going to go down to my nephew just like this so he can bake it a little bit later on, but I will have him send me a picture of it when it's done and I'll insert that right in the video. When I serve it, I cut it into 16 pieces and each piece is 2 smart points. I also take either ranch dressing or blue cheese and drizzle just a little bit over the top of each piece. It makes it absolutely delicious. So there is our buffalo ranch pizza made with the 2 ingredient dough for the pizza crust. I remember what I forgot to say in the beginning. We were going to make soft pretzel bites. That was the other thing we were going to make with the dough. So I'm not going to make a whole 1 cup to 1 cup recipe because it'll just be too many. So we just have a 1/2 cup of flour, baking soda, salt, and the Greek yogurt in here, just like we've done for the pizza dough and the cinnamon rolls, which I will tell you, my niece and I had for breakfast this morning, and they were phenomenal. They were so delicious. So they will definitely be getting made again. So we're just going to mix this up. You know the routine by now. Knead it up a little bit. Now there are some people that make the dough in their stand mixer. I tried it once and I don't know, I wasn't happy with the way it came out. I think I might try it again. But for now this works. Okay, so we have our ball of dough. I'm gonna chop it in half. And then flour my board because we're gonna need to roll this out into a snake shape. That looks about good. And then we are just going to cut them into little nuggets. The points on these are going to depend on how many we make. So we will calculate that at the end. We got 10 out of that rope. And let's see what we can get out of this one. You can bake these in the oven. I think what I'm going to try this time is making them in the air fryer. Okay, so there we have our nuggets. Our next step is to make a wash of baking soda and boiling water. So I will go boil that water and be right back. Okay, so we're gonna add 1/2 cup of boiling water to 1 tablespoon of baking soda. Mix it until the baking soda is dissolved. And then we need to dip each of the pretzel bites into the baking soda mixture, and then we're going to put them in the air fryer. Okay, the air fryer is preheated to 360. I'm just going to spray the inside and lay our pretzel bites in there. I've never made these in the air fryer, so I'm not quite sure how long to do it. I'm going to estimate, I'm going to check them in about 7 minutes and see what they look like, and they'll probably need to be flipped. And we'll go from there. Okay, so this is the first time I made these in the air fryer, so it was kind of hit and miss. I did them at 360 degrees and I needed to walk away for a few minutes. I had the timer set for 7 minutes and they ended up not burning, but getting very well done. So I quickly remade them, put them back in the air fryer. This time I did them at 325 for 7 minutes, but I put a piece of parchment on the bottom, sprayed that because the other ones were sticking very badly. So I did them at 325 for 7 minutes. After 5 minutes, I flipped them so the other side would get done. You can do them in the oven at 400 degrees for 7 minutes also. So they're out of the air fryer. I have 1 teaspoon of Land O'Lakes light butter. And I'm just going to hit them with that. I melted the butter. It's just 1 teaspoon. And then I'm going to sprinkle them with some kosher salt. And there you have your pretzel bites made from the 2-ingredient dough. 4 pretzel bites are 1 point. 7 pretzel bites are 2 points. 9 pretzel bites are 3 points. And all 20 of them are 7 points. I plan on dipping these in some of my guilty pleasure orange queso cheese in the jar and enjoying these for a little snack. I do not think they will keep very well, so when you want to make them when you want to eat them. So there we have it. Yet another thing we can do with our 2-ingredient dough. Next up will be a pepperoni and cheese stromboli. Stay tuned. Okay, we are back for our pepperoni and cheese stromboli. I did not even bother making the dough on camera because I've already made it a couple times for you. I used 1/3 cup of flour, 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt, and I also put in some garlic powder since, you know, it's an Italian dish, thought it would give the dough some nice flavor. So this dough will be 4 points. I took a piece of parchment paper and sprayed it with cooking spray so I could roll it out on that and it'll fold easier, hopefully. We're gonna start with 28 grams of part skim mozzarella. Put about half of that on there. And then I'm gonna do some of the Skinniest Dish 0 point marinara that I made the other day on my meal prep. I'm just gonna put a little bit. I'm not a real saucy person. I don't like a lot. And I'm also afraid it'll make the dough a little wet and it might rip. Then 7 pieces of turkey pepperoni. Then the rest of our cheese. Now comes the tricky part. We're just gonna fold it over. And seal it up. Sometimes it helps to dip your fingers in a little bit of flour for this part. Little piece of pepperoni sticking out there. Back in there. Okay. Then we're going to brush it with an egg wash. And I'm going to put this in the air fryer at 325, probably for about 10 minutes. I'll start checking it at around 7 minutes to see what it looks like. You can also do it in the oven at 400 degrees. And I would start checking it between 10 and 12 minutes to see what it's looking like. So there is our stromboli, and that will be 4 points for the dough. 3 points for the cheese, 1 point for the pepperoni. So we have an 8-point pepperoni and cheese stromboli. It'll go in the air fryer and I will show you what it looks like when it comes out. Okay, here is our pepperoni and cheese stromboli right out of the air fryer. It looks absolutely delicious. I ended up doing it at 325 degrees for, I believe, about 10 minutes. And I turned it over the last 3 minutes of cooking. So I'm going to cut it open and show you what it looks like on the inside. And there you have the inside. You can see all the cheese and the pepperoni. And I'm going to serve it with a side of the Skinniest Dish 0-point marinara sauce. And also I'm going to serve it with a side salad. This is going, no one's going to be home tonight, just me. So this is going to be my dinner tonight. And that is the end of our 2-ingredient dough extravaganza. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found some new uses for the 2-ingredient dough. I ended up not making the garlic sticks for you because honestly, you saw me make the dough several times. All you need to do is add some garlic powder to the dough, roll them out into sticks, brush them. I brush them with an egg wash, throw them in the air fryer or in the oven. The air fryer at 325 and the oven at 400. Probably about 10 to 12 minutes in the oven and about 6 minutes in the air fryer. You just have to keep checking them to see if they're how you like them. When they come out, I brush them with a tiny bit of melted Land O'Lakes light butter and sprinkle a little bit more garlic powder on them. You can figure out the points depending on how many you make, how much flour you use, and how many you get out of it. You can put it right in the recipe builder and that will figure all that out for you. So I hope you enjoyed our 2-ingredient dough day. Everything was absolutely delicious. The pretzels tasted just like Auntie Anne's. The cinnamon rolls were decadent. The pizza I've made before, so I know how good that is. And I'm anxious to try my stromboli for dinner tonight. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Please, if you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell. And every time I upload a video, you will be notified and you can come on and watch. Leave me a comment below if you like these recipes or if you think you're going to try any. It was a great day spending with you guys and I hope you enjoyed. I will see you real soon. Sorry about that. I will see you real soon for a full day of eating video. Have a great weekend, guys.